This is Stacy McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast, where CEOs, C-suite, and senior level executives share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number 1. Please, in a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
Hi, Stacy. I'm Lisa Bowman. I'm the former Global Chief Marketing Officer of United Way Worldwide and am currently the Chief Mojo Officer of Marketing Mojo.
Very cool. Well, I love that because I bet marketing is a lot about mojo, isn't it?
It is. It is about unlocking that secret magical spell to propel your business forward. So super excited about that. And yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to hear what you have to say. We've been really excited about bringing on different leaders from different departments and subject matter expertise. So I'm really excited from a marketing perspective, your thoughts about leadership and communication. And I know the audience is going to be excited to hear about that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Question 2 for you. What's the best thing from your perspective about leading people?
You know, from my perspective, I really think that when you're a people leader, people are very much like plants. As much as I will profess to not have a green thumb, I think that if you are able to develop them, you get the joy of watching them grow. So you water them with your knowledge, you feed them with good guidance, and then you get to sit back and watch them sprout and grow. And that's always been the biggest feel-good moment for me as a leader, is when I see somebody developing and on the path to what they want to do.
You know, Lisa, I love that you say that because I've been hearing that over and over again. And it just really brings me back to how I think the most impactful and profound leaders are the ones who truly show up in service to others, that it's not about, working their own agenda as much as it is about really helping somebody else achieve their passion and their purpose and their vision of success. So I love the way that you said that. And that's an infographic right there, if I ever heard one, the watering of the plant and watching it grow and, planting it with all your seeds of genius. So that was great.
Thanks.
I often hear from other leaders that business would be great if it weren't for that pesky people problem. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, people are people. And what I would say is that everybody's got something to bring to the table. There are certainly people that each and every one of us work with that sometimes we may not gel with. I think you've got to look for in that person what it is they have to bring to the table that you can put in your toolbox. Everybody's got something to offer. Sometimes you just have to put it aside and get through it. There are people, quite frankly, that probably have not enjoyed working with me. I hope I've been able to give them some value somewhere.
Well, and I love, again, you're putting the responsibility on you as the leader to intentionally seek it out, right? To look for the strengths versus just being overcome with all the other stuff that we know is going to happen anyway.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you got to look for it. Find your golden nuggets. Question number 4. What other successful business leaders like yourself should be on the podcast? And really, I'm looking for, who else should we be paying attention to? Who are other leaders and shakers out there that you think are influential to pay attention to?
You know, I think the next influential generation of movers and shakers are the people that are functioning as brands. There are a lot of digital-only brands that started from somebody's hard work and desire that aren't necessarily a company. People like Jen Atkin, who's a hairstylist, Danielle Bernstein, who was the founder of the We Wore What blog that is launching her first line at Macy's next week. These are people that are doing really, really cool things, and they're not doing it within the general confines of corporate America and the traditional structure.
That gets me excited thinking about the opportunities. I heard a stat here recently that, and I didn't hear this, I didn't take away the stat, but it was something of the lines that a lot of the jobs that are going to be of the future, we don't even know about yet. They're not even invented and not even working them.
And to that point, I was at a youth marketing conference a couple of months ago, and one of the top rated jobs for Gen Z is they want to be influencers. They do not want to go into that traditional workforce. They see a great opportunity to leverage digital technology to be able to propel goods and services.
That's amazing. What piece of advice about communication would you give to other leaders?
I think the biggest thing that anybody can do is to be credible and authentic. We are dealing with so much coming at us today, and there's so much hype, especially in the news cycle, that I think when you really are credible and authentic, that seems to cut through in today's world of things that are just newsworthy and people trying to make things pop. So I think credibility and authenticity, while old school, can never serve you wrong.
Yeah. And I'm curious, your thoughts on authenticity. I mean, are there descriptors now that talk about what it means to be authentic? Because it's one of those words that gets thrown around a lot. I'm just not sure everybody knows what it means.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they do either, but I think part of being authentic is actually being vulnerable.
Mhm.
And as a leader, you don't always have to know all of the answers. That's one of the things that I always told my team at United Way. My name may sit in the box on the top of that org chart. I don't always have all the answers. I may not have the best answer.
Mhm.
So if you've got something, bring it to me. That's being vulnerable as a leader, not making the assumption and not trying to help everybody understand that you always know the right way to go.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. All right, my last and sixth magic question. Tell us about your favorite boss or leader, who or teacher, who's really influenced you.
I've had several people that have influenced me, and because we don't have time for me to actually list all of them, I group them into a category. And what I would say is that my favorite and best bosses that I've had, although at the time I probably didn't realize it, were those that really pushed me out of my comfort zone and challenged me. And while I was going through that, I was probably hating it and wondering, why do I have to do this? But looking back, those were the people that were really responsible for developing and pushing me and challenging me. And that's the only way that you grow.
Absolutely. I think that's, what do they say? If you're not growing, you're dying, right? There is no plateau. There's no standing still. So this idea that you've got everything you need right now and you're all good, that just doesn't serve us today.
No,
Uh,
not at all.
and I think especially with the young whippersnappers coming up now and, they're hungrier than ever and they're more willing to try out, uncomfortable things. And so I think it charges us even more to raise the bar.
I would
Mhm.
agree.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. How can people find you?
Stacey, thanks. They can find me at lisa@marketing-mojo.biz.
That's amazing. Well, I know some folks are going to reach out to you and find you. And so I really, again, I really appreciate you being here. But for those of you who are wrapping up, this is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast. For more ideas and insights, please go visit us at www.concilioteam.com. And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.